Hotep, I am the Amen Osiris, the one and only undisputed God of all. We are 4dterminator.com, America's only 4D education service. Thank God I'm not a lawyer. Thank God this is not a law firm. And we do not advocate that you don't support your human offspring. We simply advocate you made them in private, take care of them. Today, gentlemen and ladies, what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you two things today, okay? The first thing I'm going to teach you is, number one, is the child support agency that operates in the state is not a state agency, okay? Number two, we're also going to show you that a couple of the child support uses contractual agents, all right? 4D contractors, okay? The court is a 4D contractor, okay? All right, so what that means is the mention of one thing is the exclusion of another. All right, so within any state constitution, if you go to the judicial section, it'll tell you that the judicial power is vested in a court, and they have the judges section. So in order to have judicial power, you have to be a judge, can't be a contractor. All right, and with that being said, basically what I'm showing you here in a nutshell is that there is no 4D child support order in this country that is valid. All right, so number one, state agency means any department, agency, or instrumentality of a state or of a political subdivision of a state. Any department, agency, or instrumentality of two or more states or two or more political subdivisions of a state or states, and any person who has the authority to acquire property by eminent domain under state law. That is a state agency, gentlemen, okay? Now, the definition of a Title 4D agency is the single and separate organizational unit. Now, if you break those two words down, single and separate, all right, single means alone, separate means detached and disconnected, okay? Organizational unit, now here's the kicker, it's in the state. It is not a state agency, all right, that has the responsibility for administering or supervising the administration of the state plan under Title 4D of the Act. For those of you who don't know, a state plan is found under 45 CFR 301.10, all right, and every state has to submit a plan. And what the plan is, they have to submit it to the Federal Office of Child Support Enforcement for approval, okay? And that plan is basically is going into detail on how they're going to run that business. That's it. All right. So by them having a plan, that means that all the rights violation that you're suffering from or have suffered from, all right, were premeditated. Okay. No ifs, ands, or buts. Now, Title 4D agency, by definition, is not a state agency. Okay. It has its own definition and it has nothing to do with the state. The 4D agency answers to the Federal Office of Child Support Enforcement, and that's within the United States Department of Health and Human Services. All right, Javier Becerra and Tangela Gray. All right, those are the crime bosses. Okay, the state has no say-so in how the 4D program operates. Matter of fact, the state does not even have authority over the 4D crime family that operate, or the state has nothing to do. They have no authority over it. Okay. Any decision made by the 4D crime family, it's nobody can challenge it within the state. They're their own little separate unit, and they have, it's crazy how they do it. All right, so down here we have definitions. I'm pulling this out of New Jersey. All right, contractual agent means an entity providing 4D services or functions of the 4D program, and is inclusive of those agents of the program procured through purchase of service contracts, contractual agreements, or memorandums of understanding with the 4D agency, okay? Now, remember, this is the 4D agency, it's not a state agency, okay? Now, what is inclusive? All right, there's a word, it's called inclusio unius est exclusio alterius. The inclusion of one thing is the exclusion of another. So when these judges, who you think are judges, are performing 4D agent or 4D services, all right, they're performing this what's called ex contractu, all right, 45 CFR 302.34. They have to have that contract. Nobody can sell 4D services without that contract, Okay, it's like opening a McDonald's. You need a franchise. Okay, so now remember the mention of the inclusion of one thing, which means contractual agent, is the exclusion of another, which means a judge. A judge and a contractual agent or contractor are not the same. A judge has judicial power. Okay, the Constitution vests judicial power in the court and the judge. The 45 CFR 302.34 contract does not vest constitutional power. Okay, and because they're saying, well, this is a court order. A court order. There's no such thing as court ordered child support. I keep telling y'all that. The only thing that's going on here is they're circulating money. Okay, forget what you think you know. I'll take you down into the brain of the core. All right. So the 4D crime family is not a state agency. All right. The 4D agency is not a state agency. Contractual agents are not judges. They have no judicial power. Okay. And because they're performing ex contractu, means from a contract. All right. And they're performing the administrative functions of the 4D agent or the Title 4D of the program. Okay. That's not a judge's job. And they're doing that in return for payment through purchase of service contracts. I'm the Ahmed Osiris. You want to learn some more? Stop by 4dterminator.com. Hit the booking section. You can schedule a contract. You can schedule a consultation there. All right, it'll pop up, and we will get you squared away. You can sue these people, and more importantly, one more thing: because they are not a state agency, that means that the attorney general or the state's attorney, whatever you want to call them, they can't represent them. Reason being, under 42 USC 659A B I4, okay, they are a private person. And under that statute, a private person has no immunity. Okay, state agencies have immunity. The 4D crime family and its boss does not, and it can't be represented by the state's attorney general. All right, folks, I'm the Ahmed Osiris. You have your assignment. All right, you want to get free? Trust me, you can get free. All right, but you gotta get your technique up. All right, it's not a state agency. There's no court order child support. All right, you're just getting suckered. All right, and until you man up and grow a pair and start fighting back. All right, they're going to keep doing. They're going to keep taking. All right, you know where to find me. Hotep.